What's up? My name is Dumblizo. Welcome to another episode of Dumblizo Does, where I, as an amateur artist and creative person, am going to try new, different skills, things that I've seen on YouTube, things that I've done in the past, like building models and such. If you've seen a couple of my other videos, we built a model truck already. We built a few terrariums and stuff. We're just going to do stuff that we've seen on YouTube and try to broaden our horizons, like I said. So, again, today we're going to go back to one that I've already done, but I'm kind of hooked on at this point really bad. We're going to build a terrarium again. You see this big thing here? This used to be a lamp, a nice like chandelier that hung from my ceiling for most of my childhood and most of my adult life as well. So I repurposed it because it was pretty beat up and wasn't holding together very well anymore. We're gonna go ahead and build a terrarium out of it. We've got tons of moss here. Got two trays of moss and little plants. I'll go over at the very end and show you a little pass over all. We got some stones, different dragon stones. Got some little cool like red stripy rock. I'm not even sure what that is. I found that outside of my yard. A couple other just regular stones with some little like reddish purple colors. And then we've got this here. We got a nice little juniper that we picked up that we're going to go ahead and try and experiment. And whoops, gotta be careful with the glass top, huh? Not used to having the glass top. So we're going to try and build us a terrarium with a bonsai tree in it with all this little moss and these little flowered plants and stuff. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Let me give you your little overpass real quick. Alright, so to start here, I've already put gravel in the bottom and a little bit of sand. I had the juniper sitting in here, so there's just little scraps from the juniper that I need to throw away in there. Alright, so to start we need to get our juniper in there. We need to figure out, I think I want this face here to be the front, as you can see. I'll open all this up so you can see the trunk and everything. Have a couple parts coming out, I think. I haven't quite figured that out yet. I'm still uh, watching videos on how to do that, so we'll figure that out. Alright, so to get started, we need to get this tree in here in the proper placement. I've seen people wiring them down. I don't have wire for that, so I don't know what I'm going to do that way, but I think it'll be okay just to plant and put enough soil in. I've got a mixture of soil here. That's just potting soil, garden soil, some sand, and gravel to keep it nice and airy and light so we don't build up too moisture. I don't want anything to rot in this plant. Alright, so let's just go ahead and pull this. Yeah, look at that. It's got a nice healthy root system on there already. And we'll go ahead and keep the soil that it came with as well. And try and spread these roots out a little bit and open them up so they can start to grow already out inside the pot here. I'm trying to keep the center open too because I want it to stay as low as possible. I think something like that. But I actually think I want it to be up more like that, I think, actually. So actually, I think we were good with keeping soil under it. Keep all this good fertilized soil from the store underneath it. Kind of want it to end up being like a small mound coming up. So, I'm going to go ahead and put this back in the pot for just a second. Get some of our soil mix here. So one of the first things I was told to do when I was watching videos for bonsai is you want to scrape all the loose soil off the top, get it all cleaned off, so you can see where your roots are, and you can see where the base of the tree is. Just kind of rough it up a little bit with our fingertips here and wipe away any excess dirt before we get started. And I think I should bring it further forward a little bit though, because it's going so far back. We're going to have to trim off so much. Alright, I think that's probably good. Just add our soil mix. And I got it all over the top here, but that's okay because we can clean it off. And I hadn't planned on doing any bonsaiing to this juniper for at least a week until after it had gotten a little established and everything, but I think some of this lower stuff's going to have to come off just in order to plant it, so we'll see how that goes. And where those roots were, I'm going to kind of pack it down a little bit on this side, I think, to keep it rooted down so there's no tipping or anything. So I guess apparently that's probably why they're strapping them to the bottom with baling wire and stuff. This first little bit lower level I'm going to pack down a little bit. I want it to stay nice and tight in there. I don't need it to tip over or fall out anytime soon, so makes perfect sense on why they're putting them down like that. I can already see. Luckily it's going to be small and it's going inside that terrarium. I'm not going to let it turn into a giant tree, so that should be beneficial for us. And I think I'm going to have to make some more soil. I don't think I made enough. Alright, so I'm going to make some more soil and I'll be right back. Alright, so I've got some more soil here. This time I didn't mix in gravel so I could have a smoother top surface. This time I only used Miracle-Gro potting soil, Miracle-Gro garden soil, and a handful of sand to help keep it a little more airy. I used the two different Miracle-Gro soils because potting soil is obviously really good and full of nutrients, but I like to have the garden soil so there's a little bit more natural, like wood chips and stuff in there to help a natural outdoor plant help survive indoors, you know. And I'm sure I could make my own substrate. I used to have a good mulch pile going, but the dogs destroyed it, so I don't have that anymore. Alright, let's see, we want to keep this up here a little bit exposed. It's got a nice little root area showing. I'm going to leave about a ½ inch, I think, around the edge of the bowl here, so that my moss sits just below it, and I can still get water in it without overflowing it or spilling out the sides or anything like that. See, so this will be the front right here. This will be my front face. So I didn't want to do any pruning to it yet, but I think all this stuff under here needs to go. Finish adding our soil here, and we'll get her watered up too, and we'll go from there. We'll start setting up some moss and some plants in here. I guess first we'll trim off this bit because it's definitely in the way and it's going to make it hard to place things and decide what I want landscaped where in here. So, or hardscaped, I guess is what it's actually called. I'm a landscaper, so I say landscaping. Everything I do inside of it, even when I was building fairy gardens, it was just small landscaping as far as I was concerned. Alright, let me go get some, oh wait, let's water it first, right? So I just got some dechlorinated water here, since I'm going to have moss and everything. This has just been used. I just used some water conditioner from the pet store for like aquatic turtles and stuff. Now, this is going to take a second because all this new soil isn't super absorbent yet. So I'm going to want to put it in kind of slow and let it spread around, get soaked in real good. We'll do some more touches up because the water's going to make the soil settle in different places. So we'll make sure we get it all touched up and looking good again. Nice and smooth before we start putting down moss. Moss likes a nice smooth surface. I really want to do, like, make my own moss slurry, but the last time I tried that, I never got anything from it. So I've just been using sheet moss and stuff that I find outside. Save some of that water for a little bit for the end. So we're going to kind of pack and smooth this out a little bit too. Make sure that our tree's going to stay nice and anchored in there. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, so I got two kinds of trimmers here. I've got my little friskers. I don't know exactly what they're called, but they work really well on small plants and such, little branches. I got the seam splitters. I got these from working at screen printing companies. These I've seen them using to trim the edges. I don't think we'll be doing much of that yet, because I didn't really want to do any trimming to it till I got to be a little bit established, but I think I need some of this stuff down here out of my way. And I guess a little pruning to begin with too isn't too bad, because then there's a little bit less that the plant has to try and support for a little while. So I bet that helps. Yep, see? That's why I needed to take that off. It was all buried under the dirt. Got stuck under there. I couldn't even see it. Now, I don't want to take off too much because I don't know exactly where I'm going to start trimming yet. So I'm just trying to raise up the bottom so I can see under it here. So I think we'll leave it like that at the moment. You can see it already made a huge difference. Alright. Now it's time to figure out some moss in here. So I got these two beautiful trays of several different kinds of moss. There's all sorts of moss in here that I get from my boss's greenhouse. So deciding what I want to do here is a little bit tough. I know I want these flowering plants for sure. And I know, let's see if I can get any of this apart from each other, because I don't want to make it too crazy. These flowering plants I do want kind of like in the front here, you know what I mean? Give us a little extra to look at besides the tree. And these are just weeds and stuff that are growing outside of the greenhouses, so it's nothing special here. It's not like I'm going to get a bunch of beautiful flowers, but they do have a little flower on them, and I think it'll look good. And actually, so doing that, I think maybe I should work from the tree out. And I know, again, I don't want to, maybe I should create a circle here that I can see, like that the moss doesn't go on. The moss, I like to make sure it's smushed down real good on there. Moss only grows on the surface. It doesn't have roots, so touching the dirt, it's not like it's going to get any more better growth or root itself in. It's just going to stay there, so I like to make sure I smush it down real good. Oop, didn't mess up the mic. And as you can see, I'm still using my headphones for my mic. Well, you can't see it right now because I'm not wearing them, but I just have it sitting in front of me. But the mic I got was garbage. There's something up with it. I think I need it debugged or something. I need somebody who understands that type of stuff a little more than I do to come help me, but we're not too concerned with that right now. We're just trying to do our thing with this, so we'll just keep going.